Welcome once again, nerds, to the Clips channel. This is another mail section.
Sequence start 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. I would like to introduce
Generally Nerdy.
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 Another mail episode. We're talking about user comments. We're also doing shout outs to all of the new followers, though I must make a disclaimer right up the front. Totally forgot to check the new followers on Instagram. Sorry, nerds. We'll catch you in the next one. Either way, let's get into it. Okay, so first up, we have a new follower on the Twitter, Fatalcade, at MKO_Fatalcade. Thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. I really wish I could partake in the things that you do with the Fatalcade and the Friday night fights or Saturday night, whatever it was. Yeah, I can't because I have a day job, and those are 2 days that I work pretty much the whole day, save for the live stream Friday nights. Either way, appreciate what you're doing over there on Mortal Kombat Online. We gotta move along. Next up, we have, so on the YouTube, we, again, two YouTube channels to do follows and comments and things for. When people follow on YouTube and they don't have their settings set to display that they're following me, I don't see them. So when the number goes up, I don't always see who those people are. So we only have one person who has followed in the last month, because we haven't done one of these for a month. One person that's followed in the last month that doesn't have their settings set to private, and that is Neon. And thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. So those are the shout outs. Let's get into the viewer mail. So on the Zigzag reaction, we have a couple of comments to address. First up is from Exploring with Ben and Sam.
Love the breakdown. Rammstein, though, agree, not just musically, but visually is stunning. Can't wait for September to finally see them live. Been sitting on these tickets for 2 years now. Just can't wait anymore, LOL.
Yo, if I could have afforded to get tickets when they released, I totally would have as well. Super excited for them to tour again. I want them to come to the States more frequently, but not holding my breath. Either way, congratulations. We're moving on. Next up comes from Marty McFly on the same video. Marty says,
they making fun of Hollywood beauty standards and about the people who had so much surgery that they look like freaks. The basic message from this is no matter how much plastic surgery you get and how much money you will spend, aging process will always get you at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I felt like that was the obvious message of the video. I wanted to know specifically, like, what the lyrics were talking about, because I haven't had the opportunity to, or the leisure time, as it were, to look up the translation of what they're singing about in that song. But yeah, that's totally what the video is parodying, because they're great. I love Rammstein. I love Rammstein! And then again, same video. This time we're from Ava Leibach. Ava says,
hi, the gods of the algorithm had let me stumble over your channel. Nice reaction. Let me tell you, first time I listened to the song and watched the video, I laughed so hard. I'm German. Should definitely check out the lyrics, what you most likely did, keeping the channel's name in mind.
Thank you.
Would love to see more Rammstein reaction on your channel. By the way, the bassist name is Oliver Rydell, winky face. If you would like to understand what the lyrics say, I recommend Educated Marines site. He does great work translating the lyrics properly. He has several Rammstein songs translated, and all of them from the new album. That was released April 29th. With love, from Germany.
Thank you very much, Ava, for the recommendation. I have really been at a loss for great translations ever since Herzeleid.net went down. That went down a few years ago, actually, like 2-3 Rammstein records ago even. So yeah, definitely have been looking for a place to get good translations, so I will definitely go check out this Educated Marine website. I don't know how to find it because you didn't actually give the site, but it's probably good on you because the YouTube algorithm probably wouldn't have let you through if you had. So yeah, thank you very much. Let's move right along, shall we? Next, we're still in the reaction videos. The Meshuggah, I don't remember the name of the song now because I didn't write it down. The Meshuggah reaction that we did just last month. This comes from Nobody Special. It's actually 2 comments from Nobody Special because I did respond to them in our time off. So the first comment was,
Going to the tour.
and the second comment was,
Generally nerdy, you don't strike me as a Meshuggah nut.
well, apparently looks can be deceiving, my friend, because Meshuggah is amazing. They're easily one of my top 10 favorite bands, probably ever. I've been into Meshuggah since Chaosphere, I believe was the record. I've been at least aware of them. I really got into them when they released Obzen. Destroy, Erase, Improve, though, was something that found its way onto my rotation from time to time when I was listening to burned CDs and such, or my iPod. So yeah, I've been listening to them for a little while, and the record where they kind of officially solidified their sound was Obzen, and that's kind of when most people found them was because of that record. So yeah, big Meshuggah fan. I've seen them live. Unfortunately only once, but definitely have seen them live and plan on seeing them again. Actually, I already have tickets. So yes, to your first question, I already have tickets to the show when they come through my neck of the woods. So yeah. Next, we're getting back to that Orville Peck song that we did the reaction to 4 or 5 months ago now. Orville Peck, this one comes from Manx Uberglider, and Mr. Manx says...
I think that most people have knee-jerk reactions to oversaturated words like autotune and cosmetic surgery. LOL, yes, the falsetto, quote, cry has some autotune applied on production. Yes, of course Orville can sing this without autotune and with pitch, perfect pitch or relative pitch. Some of the comments are ridiculous. I actually like the autotune because it gives it a modern vibe. Anyway, this guy has one of the greatest voices and is one of my new favorite voices. By the way, his boyfriend is supposedly Diplo.
Interesting, okay. Those are 2 very disparate sounds, Diplo and Orville Peck. So very interesting that those 2 would be dating, but okay. I don't really give a shit about their personal lives, honestly, but sure, okay. The part where you say Orville can sing this without autotune and with perfect pitch or relative pitch, that's not how relative pitch is used. So I appreciate that you're on my side, and I'm really not trying to be nitpicky, but I feel like when a term is used incorrectly, and even if you are on my side, I feel like I should explain to you how to properly use the term. So, relative pitch is in relation to perfect pitch as it comes to somebody who can recall a pitch offhand. So, perfect pitch is perfect pitch is if you say to somebody who has perfect pitch, because that is a thing to possess. If you say to somebody who has perfect pitch, give me a C5. They can sing for you a C5 off the cuff, just offhand, and that is actually a skill that you can build, that you can train into small children. Eventually, though, it is something that we as humans lose. So if you have perfect pitch, as you age, as you get into your 30s and 40s and such, it will go away. Relative pitch is also a skill to possess. Relative pitch is when you say, here is an E5, give me a C5. So you know what a C is relative to the E. That's what relative pitch is. So that's a skill that is less likely to dissolve with age, because if you know, Staying Alive is one, the ha, 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 That one is, I don't remember those notes, but that's one that a lot of people use for relative pitch, as so is Somewhere the Rainbow, Somewhere, because that's an octave, so if you know, just so on and so forth. There's a lot of little tricks that people use to maintain their relative pitch. If you know these basic songs, then you can recall these pitches, then you can then translate that information to whatever you're trying to use the relative pitch on. So I very much appreciate that you're on my side with that. I still, unfortunately, have not had time to listen to that live recording of Orville that we talked about in the last viewer mail section. But yeah, yeah, that's great. He does have one of the greatest voices. I think Orville Peck's voice is fantastic. And of note, if you are one to watch documentary series, Netflix has a great little documentary series called This Is Pop, and Orville hosts one of the episodes. So yeah, totally awesome, totally noteworthy. Moving along, now we're over to the Clips channel comments. First up, we have, this one comes from the TV news section from a couple of weeks ago where we talked about Bone on Netflix getting canceled. This comes from Matt Brain. Matt Brain says,
Nerd News Clips, my ardent hope is that other streaming services snap up the rights to these canceled Netflix projects just to stick it to Netflix.
So I agree to an extent. I think that some of these Netflix shows that have been canceled recently deserve to be canceled because they were not going to be watched by anyone to begin with. Something like Bone, however, absolutely does not deserve to be canceled because that is kind of a huge deal in the comic book community, especially in younger comic book readers. So why Bone got canceled, maybe it was more woke than we know it was or something. I don't know. But either way, for the most part, I'm totally in agreement with you. There is a handful of shows that have recently been canceled before they made it to air at all, and that was with good reason. So yeah, that's where we are with that one. Now, this is a comment from last week's music section. This comes from user AGD in CA. So AGD says,
going to see Bollywood in Southern California in October. Can't wait!
Yes. Good on you, sir. Absolutely go check these guys out. Bollywood is, I'm really intrigued to see their live performance because the music is really well done, and just it'll be interesting to contrast and compare culturally, like if that lends itself to a really interesting live show, especially because it looks like they're going to be playing some smaller venues. So how do they own the stage in a smaller venue, considering, you know, they are a pretty big deal, it would seem. Yeah, that's what we got there. And then we're back over to the Brent Hines Reasonably Nerdy episode from like almost a year ago at this point. Like it's been, I think, 8 months. So we have Thomas8256 says,
I'm so sick of people getting hurt over everything. The world's going to shit and people care more about the stupidest crap. Disturbed sucks and Mastodon's last good record was Blood Mountain.
No, it wasn't. I mean, Blood Mountain was a great record. Don't get me wrong. I think Blood Mountain was awesome. Crack the Sky, also really good. The Hunter, also really good. The Hushed and Grim, not the best, but still really good. Like, even the mediocre Mastodon stuff on the greater scale of heavy music is still right about a 7 or an 8. Like, there's a lot of garbage out there, and Mastodon puts out a lot of great stuff. However, that is not an excuse to go out of your way to be an asshole. I will forever think that Brent Hines is a fantastic guitar player. I will also forever think that Brent Hines just needs to shut his mouth when he's talking about social things. Just, nobody cares, dude. Like, whatever. I don't see the benefit, the net positive for somebody going out of their way to disparage somebody for no reason. There was no need for him to talk about Mastodon in that, or no need for him to talk about Disturbed, rather, in that interview. He did it because he's a jerk. I mean, the two things can be true. He can be an amazing guitar player and also kind of an ass. So, yeah. And then Jeremy Dickinson, Brent is a man's man. Is this not America anymore? Since when is it American to go out of your way to be a douchebag to fellow musicians? These are two people who are in the same profession. Now, and I made this point in the comment section of the in response to these people, and so I'm going to make it here in the episode as well. So Disturbed's record that was being referenced, I'm pretty sure. No. Disturbed's biggest record is where we're going with this. Disturbed's biggest record is the record The Sickness, which Down With the Sickness comes from, which is what, they blew up from. That record alone has sold over 9 million copies. 9 million. That is huge. That is a lot of freaking copies. The last four, I think in the comment section I said 4, but I'm pretty sure I can extend that to 5. The last 5 Mastodon records have not sold that many albums combined. Mastodon has not broken over 1 million copies with a single record. And that's considering Crack the Sky even, which won them a friggin' Grammy. What was their first Grammy was from Crack the Sky. So that's significant. Now, I know record sales do not denote talent. I understand this. I also know that quality of music is subjective, by and large. Yes, there are certain objective things about music that you can judge whether or not there is quality there, but after those certain points, which anything that's made its way onto the radio or onto a mass-produced CD or whatever, onto Spotify, let's say, it qualifies past those very basic things that make it listenable music. So beyond that, quality is subjective. So if you don't like Disturbed, that's fine. But why go out of your way to disparage them when you can just not listen to them? Do you really want the world to just think you're that big of an asshole? I don't get it, but you guys do you. Do as you will. That is the end of our viewer comments section, viewer mail, whatever. Thank you very much, nerds, for all of the follows and all of the interactions. You guys help this channel immensely. And as we get closer to that 1,000, that is going to get us a lot more of the interviews that you've been seeing up on the main channel. Go live, do all of the stuff. So, thank you again very much. If you have not already, hit the thumbs up. Let the algorithm gods know that you like what is going on here. And we'll see you in the next one. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.